25 foods that were normal to eat in the 1920s, but illegal now. What if the meal that fed your family could land you in court today? Let's turn back time to the tumultuous 1920s, an era when the line between food safety and danger was too thin. Today, let's explore foods that were once the pride of a generation, but are now completely banned or blacklisted from history. Radium-infused foods and drinks. In the 1920s, radium was a captivating name, a symbol of scientific progress and a promise of superhuman health. People believed that this radioactive substance could boost energy, beautify skin, and symbolize advanced health and vitality. Hard to believe, isn't it? But radium-infused products, from drinks like Radithor, toothpaste, and chocolate to butter, were widely available in department stores and pharmacies. Radium's phosphorescent glow was seen as an aura of vitality, a testament to humanity's ability to harness natural elements to improve life. Older audiences, who were always seeking safety and health, would probably be shocked to learn that a once-held belief harbored immeasurable dangers. Yet, time has revealed a harsh truth. Prolonged radiation exposure does not bring health, but only leads to radiation sickness, anemia, and terrifying jaw necrosis. The case of industrialist Eben Byers is a tragic example. He died after drinking over 1,000 bottles of Radithor. Today, the production and sale of radioactive-infused foods and drinks are completely banned globally, serving as a costly lesson about the thin line between science and recklessness. Raw milk. In the memories of many older Americans living in rural areas, raw milk was an indispensable part of daily meals. It was milked directly from cows and served at the table without any pasteurization process. At the time, it was the most available, most affordable, and often the only option before refrigeration technology and food safety standards developed. It was a familiar image of life close to nature, with old values of self-sufficiency and simplicity. It evoked a feeling of abundance, familiarity, and awakened the senses through nostalgic memories of childhood flavors. With urbanization and the need for large-scale milk distribution, raw milk became a bacterial time bomb. It contained many dangerous pathogens such as tuberculosis bacteria, brucella, and typhoid, causing serious epidemics in the community. For this reason, pasteurization became a mandatory standard to ensure public health safety. These changes are a testament to the progress in food safety awareness. Whale meat. During wartime and periods of economic hardship in the 1920s and subsequent decades, whale meat was a plentiful and affordable source of protein, a practical solution to food shortages. Whale meat appeared in local butcher shops and was served in school cafeterias, becoming part of the daily diet for many American families. For many, it was a nutritious food, rich in fat and calories, helping them through difficult times. The presence of whale meat on the dinner table reflected a period when survival and the ability to utilize all natural resources were top priorities, when conservation awareness was not as widespread as it is today. Older individuals might remember its unique taste or simply its presence as a part of life, a memory of a time when people struggled to feed their families. But the consequences of industrial whaling pushed many species to the brink of extinction. Global whale populations suffered heavy losses, forcing the International Whaling Commission to issue a ban on commercial whaling in the 1980s. In the U.S., the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 prohibited the hunting, sale, or consumption of whale meat, reflecting a profound shift in wildlife conservation awareness. Fried canary and other small birds. Fried canary, along with larks and sparrows, was once a delicacy. Larks and sparrows became a valuable and affordable source of protein. In Europe and among immigrant communities in the U.S., these songbirds were considered a delicacy. People would pluck, season, and fry or roast them whole, including bones and beaks. This dish often appeared at luxurious banquets, demonstrating the sophistication of the elite, but also served as a nutritious, common meal for working-class families. Hunting small birds for food was a long-standing custom, and at the time, people never thought this action could cause serious consequences for the ecosystem. The enticing aroma of crispy fried birds surely captivated many diners a century ago. However, the severe decline in bird populations due to overhunting raised an alarm. Growing awareness of wildlife conservation led to the enactment of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918. This act prohibited the hunting or sale of most native songbirds for conservation, making this once popular dish illegal. Canned sea turtle meat. Canned sea turtle meat, especially green turtle soup, was once a luxury favored by the elite. Later, thanks to the convenience of canning, this dish became more popular and accessible to a wider audience. It symbolized sophistication, social status, and access to unique delicacies from the sea. Green turtle soup was one of the highlights of luxurious banquets, where people showcased their wealth and lifestyle. But like many other animals, sea turtles face the threat of extinction due to overhunting and habitat loss. The increasing demand for this delicacy exceeded nature's supply. Excessive hunting of sea turtles, combined with the loss of natural habitats due to human development, pushed many sea turtle species to the brink of extinction. These ancient creatures, which have existed for millions of years, now face the risk of permanent disappearance from the planet. International protection measures have been enacted to prohibit the catching or sale of sea turtles and their meat, aiming to protect these rare creatures. Original absinthe. Absinthe, also known as the Green Fairy, was a potent dark green alcoholic beverage popular among writers, artists, and bohemians in the 1920s. The preparation of absinthe was a ritual in itself, a symbol of sophistication and a bohemian lifestyle. Thujone, a component found in wormwood, a key ingredient of absinthe, caused much controversy regarding its effects. This was a drink that brought stimulation and inspiration to artistic souls, an indispensable part of European culture at the time. However, this green fairy quickly became a green devil in the public eye. Absinthe was subsequently accused of causing hallucinations, madness, and moral decay. In particular, the murder case of Jean Lanfray in 1905, where he killed his family after drinking the liquor, made absinthe a scapegoat for many social problems. The ban on absinthe then spread in the 1910s to 1920s, and the United States banned it in 1912. Although scientists later discovered that Thujone did not cause madness as accused, the ban left a deep mark on culinary history. Shark fin soup. Shark fin soup, an imported dish from China, quickly became a symbol of wealth and prestige in high-end American restaurants in the 1920s. Although shark fin itself doesn't have much distinct flavor, it offered a unique texture and, more importantly, deep traditional value. Being invited to enjoy shark fin soup at a banquet was not just a culinary experience, but also an affirmation of the host's social status and success. It appeared at festivals and important events, becoming an essential dish to show respect and class. For many, especially in the Chinese American community, shark fin soup was an inseparable part of their culture, a connection to their roots and traditions. The increasing popularity and demand for this soup led to a brutal practice: finning. Sharks were caught, their fins were cut off, and the rest of their bodies were discarded into the sea, often while they were still alive. This inhumane act caused global outrage and led to the rapid collapse of many shark populations worldwide. Scientists and conservationists warn that many shark species are facing severe extinction, affecting the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. To prevent this catastrophe, many U.S. states and other countries have enacted laws prohibiting the sale of shark fins. Ortolan Bunting. Imagine a secret dish reserved only for French and American gourmands, a delicacy so exquisite that one had to eat it in secret and with a napkin draped over the head. That was the Ortolan Bunting, a small songbird, no larger than a thumb, considered the pinnacle of culinary extravagance in the 1920s. These birds were caught alive, then fattened in darkness to make them eat more, then drowned in Armagnac brandy and roasted whole. People ate them with a napkin over their head, to keep the aroma in and to fully savor the dish's subtlety without interruption. This was not just a meal but a ritual, a symbol of wealth and power. often appearing only at exclusive banquets of the elite. This passion for luxury pushed the Ortolan Bunting species to the brink of extinction. Overhunting, combined with the loss of natural habitats due to urban and agricultural development, caused a severe decline in bird numbers. Conservationists and the European Union strongly advocated for urgent protection measures. Finally, under immense pressure from the international community and environmentalists, France banned the commercial sale of Ortolan Bunting in 1999. Brain sandwiches. In a society where frugality and avoiding waste were highly valued, brain sandwiches became a common yet gourmet dish in many regions, especially where German-American culinary traditions were strong in the 1920s. This dish was typically made from veal or pork brains, fried until crispy, and placed between two soft slices of bread. This was a clear testament to the use every part of the animal principle, a way to ensure nothing went to waste. For many working-class families, brains were an affordable source of protein, and brain sandwiches became a familiar meal, carrying a distinctive flavor and cultural value. It demonstrated ingenuity and the ability to transform humble ingredients into a beloved dish. By the 1990s, a terrible concern emerged that completely changed how we viewed this dish. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, mad cow disease. Although primarily associated with cattle, concerns about the potential transmission of dangerous prion diseases from animal brain tissue to humans prompted authorities to act quickly. Beaver tail. During the harsh winters of the 1920s, especially in frontier regions and for trappers, beaver tail was a dish that was not only delicious but also essential. It was a fatty, chewy, calorie-rich delicacy, providing abundant energy and fat to withstand the biting cold. For land-based communities, every part of the animal was valuable, and beaver tail, with its unique texture and rich flavor, became an important part of their diet. Even in French-Canadian Catholic communities, beaver tail was classified as fish, so it could be eaten during Lent, when other meats were forbidden. The popularity of this dish led to a serious consequence: excessive beaver trapping. Beaver populations, which are skilled ecosystem engineers, declined significantly. Conservation efforts were initiated to prevent the disappearance of this animal. Trapping seasons were shortened, and beaver harvesting was completely banned in some areas to allow them to recover. Uninspected wild game meat. For many land-based families in rural America, wild game meat such as squirrel, raccoon, opossum, rabbit, and even bear was a primary source of protein, an indispensable part of daily meals. These meats were not subject to any inspection by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, but simply fresh meat hunted directly from the forest to the dinner table. The aroma of roasted wild game, along with stories of successful hunts, was an essential part of many older people's childhood memories, recalling a life closer to nature and traditional values. Soon after, the sale or serving of uninspected wild game meat was completely banned. The main reason was the lack of inspection, making it impossible to ensure that the meat did not contain diseases, parasites, or other contaminants that could harm human health. Current legal regulations require all commercially sold meat to undergo strict USDA inspection processes to ensure food safety and hygiene. Lutefisk, prepared with industrial lye solution. Lutefisk is a traditional Scandinavian dish, usually made from dried whitefish, often cod, soaked in a lye solution until it has a gelatinous texture. In the 1920s, it was a symbol of culture and resourcefulness for Scandinavian immigrant communities in America. This dish not only had culinary significance, but was also a way for them to preserve their identity and connect with their roots. The process of preparing lutefisk was passed down from generation to generation, becoming an indispensable part of festivals and family meals. Many older people might remember its distinctive smell in the kitchen every season, evoking warm memories with family and community. In the past, home cooks sometimes used industrial-grade lye solution without fully understanding its dangers. Concerns about chemical burns and food contamination led the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, to strictly limit the use of food-grade lye and require careful handling. Lutefisk is still enjoyed in modern Scandinavian communities, but the preparation process has been standardized to ensure maximum safety. Pig's blood soup. Pig's blood soup, a popular dish among immigrant families from Eastern Europe, Asia, and the American South in the 1920s, was a testament to frugality and the ability to utilize every part of the animal during pig slaughter. This soup was typically made from fresh pig's blood, vinegar, garlic, onions, and spices, creating a rich and distinctive flavor. It evoked images of communal pig slaughters where people gathered to prepare food and share stories, creating a strong sense of togetherness. The taste of pig's blood soup can be a profound memory for many older individuals, recalling warm family meals full of memories. The sale or serving of dishes made from fresh pig's blood has become illegal in some U.S. states and is subject to strict regulation. The main reason is that animal blood is highly perishable, and improper handling can lead to serious health risks. By the mid-20th century, food safety regulations were significantly tightened, requiring the collection, storage, and processing of blood under strict hygienic conditions. These regulations aim to prevent the spread of bacteria and dangerous pathogens. Haggis with sheep lungs. Haggis is a traditional Scottish dish, homemade by Scottish immigrants in the U.S. in the 1920s. This dish consists of minced sheep's liver, heart, and lungs, mixed with oats, onions, and spices, then stuffed into a sheep's stomach and boiled. For the Scottish immigrant community, haggis was a symbol of their cultural identity and heritage. It recalled warm burned suppers where Scottish stories and poems were recited, connecting generations to their roots. The distinctive taste and unique preparation of haggis were an indispensable part of memories of family and community. Haggis containing sheep lungs has been banned for human consumption in the United States by USDA regulations in 1971. This ban was enacted due to concerns about potential contamination during the slaughter and processing of sheep lungs. Although sheep lungs are a traditional and important ingredient of haggis to ensure food safety for consumers, authorities had to make this decision. This created a debate between those who wanted to preserve tradition and safety regulations. While haggis is still produced and consumed in Scotland, the traditional version with sheep lungs remains on the banned list in the U.S. Arsenic-Infused Tonics. It was believed that it could cure fatigue, beautify the skin, and enhance overall vitality. Arsenic, a known toxic substance, was once considered an effective therapeutic agent in small doses, partly due to a lack of scientific understanding and blind faith in folk remedies. The image of glittering tonic bottles on pharmacy shelves with exaggerated advertisements attracted countless people seeking a quick solution to their health problems. Perhaps older people still remember rumors or even personal experiences related to this dangerous tonic, a memory of a time when medicine was rudimentary and full of risks. Now, arsenic-infused tonics have been completely banned. A deeper understanding by the medical community of arsenic's toxicity has shown that chronic exposure to this substance causes severe damage to the skin, internal organs, and especially increases the risk of cancer. By the 1940s, public health agencies had begun to better understand the cumulative dangers of arsenic and issued a ban on its use in food and beverages. Strychnine tonics. Strychnine-infused tonics containing a convulsive poison were widely sold as nerve tonics or digestive bitters. In small doses, strychnine was thought to stimulate the nervous system, helping to treat fatigue, digestive problems, and even erectile dysfunction. Desperate consumers turned to these tonics, hoping to improve their health and vitality, believing in advertisements without scientific basis. Labels were often vague and formulas inconsistent, making dosage control difficult and risky. Perhaps in old family stories, you might have heard about these mysterious tonics, a part of a past medicine full of experimentation and sometimes danger. As medicine evolved, scientists realized that the risks of strychnine far outweighed any perceived benefits. Repeated exposure to this substance can cause severe symptoms such as muscle spasms, intense anxiety, and respiratory failure. In particular, accidental overdose was not uncommon, leading to tragic consequences for users. Sassafras oil-flavored drinks. Sassafras oil-flavored drinks, especially old-fashioned root beers, were incredibly popular. Sassafras oil provided a unique, delicious flavor and was believed to have many health benefits. It was thought to purify the blood, cure colds, and improve overall health. The mild, slightly spicy flavor of root beer became a part of many generations' childhood memories, recalling summer picnics, warm family gatherings, and cool, refreshing sodas. The feeling of enjoying a traditional root beer with its characteristic sassafras aroma is an unforgettable experience for many older people, a taste of the past. Not long after, this drink was also banned. The turning point occurred in the 1960s when researchers discovered that safrole, the main compound in sassafras oil, had carcinogenic potential at high doses. Animal studies linked safrole to liver cancer, an alarming finding. Immediately, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, issued a ban on the use of safrole in commercially produced foods and beverages. Ambergris in desserts. Ambergris, a rare waste product from sperm whales, was once a unique ingredient in perfumes, and especially in high-end desserts in the 1920s. It provided a deep, musky aroma and a delicate, earthy taste, adding mystery and luxury to dishes. For the elite, using ambergris at parties was a way to showcase wealth and refined culinary taste. Desserts enhanced with ambergris offered a unique sensory experience, a symbol of ultimate extravagance. The feeling of enjoying a dish with such a rare ingredient must have been a special memory for those fortunate enough to experience it. A taste of an era where uniqueness was highly valued. Due to ethical and environmental concerns, desserts using ambergris were completely banned. As whales became protected under international law, the trade and use of anything derived from them, including ambergris, became illegal. The purpose was to prevent all forms of whale exploitation and protect the species from extinction. This change reflects a deeper awareness of animal rights and marine environmental conservation. Lard as the primary cooking fat. Lard was considered an inexpensive, stable, and readily available ingredient. Lard provided a golden crispness to fried dishes and an irresistible rich flavor to baked goods, breads, and stews. With a high smoke point, it was the perfect choice for frying everything, from crispy fried chicken to golden French fries. The aroma of rendered lard is an indelible memory in the minds of many older people, evoking warm family meals, rich traditional flavors, and the resourcefulness of homemakers. Today, the use of lard as the primary cooking fat has been strictly restricted. By the mid-20th century, health science began to indicate that lard contained a lot of saturated fat, and concerns about heart disease pushed it out of mainstream kitchens. Additionally, many commercial lard products were hydrogenated, creating trans fats, which were later strictly regulated or completely banned due to their negative impacts on cardiovascular health. Homemade moonshine used in food. During the Prohibition era of the 1920s, homemade moonshine and unaged whiskey was not only a rebellious pleasure but also played an important role in preserving food, flavoring baked goods, sauces, and even cough medicine. When money was tight, moonshine was also used to barter for goods and services, becoming an indispensable part of the underground economy. Stories of secret moonshine making, along with its strong aroma in the kitchen, might be vivid memories for many older people, recalling a turbulent but also creative period. But do you know why they were banned? The main reason was the lack of regulation, which made moonshine notorious for severe contamination. Many homemade spirits contained methanol or lead from faulty distillation equipment, posing serious health risks, including blindness, organ damage, and even death. Along with health risks, moonshine's untaxed status led federal and state governments to crack down heavily. Pemmican, uninspected wild game meat. Pemmican is a high-energy, long-lasting survival food made from processed fat, dried meat, often wild game like bison, elk, deer, and sometimes added berries. Pemmican was an essential food for hunters, explorers, and land-based communities. With its abundant nutrition, portability, and high stability, it was an ideal energy source for long journeys and harsh wilderness life. Pemmican might recall adventure stories, the resilience and adaptability of pioneers, a part of American heritage passed down through generations. Currently, traditional pemmican made from uninspected wild game meat is banned for sale in most U.S. states. The main reason is that it is made from wild animal meat that has not been inspected, failing to ensure food safety and hygiene. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, restricts the sale of meat products not processed in certified and inspected facilities to prevent the risk of spreading disease and contamination. Margarine with toxic additives. Margarine was a popular, inexpensive, stable, and easy to mass-produce butter substitute. It was promoted as a modern miracle food, offering an economic solution for families wanting to save money while still having fat for their meals. Early margarine formulas often included questionable ingredients such as whale oil, cottonseed oil, or artificial dyes, creating appealing colors. For many families, margarine was a familiar item on the dinner table, a part of daily life in an era when industrial innovation was changing how we ate. Early formulas contained toxic compounds like lead or aniline derivatives in artificial dyes, which were poisonous and chemically unstable. Later, concerns about trans fats in hydrogenated margarine products led to stricter regulations. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, banned toxic colorants and required standardized labeling, ensuring that consumers knew exactly what they were eating. Canned tuna. Canned tuna was a quick meal option and an affordable source of protein, very popular and skyrocketed throughout the 20th century. With its convenience and easy storage, canned tuna became a staple in many family pantries, a quick solution for hurried lunches or simple dinners. Many older people might remember tuna salads, tuna sandwiches, or simply a can of tuna mixed with mayonnaise as a familiar meal, an indispensable part of daily life. Today, the consumption of canned tuna with high mercury content has been strictly restricted. Scientists discovered that some brands of tuna contained alarmingly high levels of mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal that can accumulate in the body, causing serious neurological problems, muscle weakness, and developmental issues, particularly dangerous for pregnant women and young children. By the 1970s, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, began imposing strict limits on mercury levels in seafood and issued recommendations for safe consumption amounts. Saccharin. Saccharin, a calorie-free artificial sweetener, hundreds of times sweeter than sugar, appeared in the late 1800s but became widely popular in the diet food market. It quickly became the top choice for diet drinks and sugar-free desserts, promoted as the perfect solution for those wanting to lose weight or control blood sugar. Saccharin provided sweetness without added calories, meeting the demand of a society increasingly concerned with healthy eating. Saccharin will evoke memories of the first diet sodas or sugar-free baked goods, a part of modern life and the advent of diet products. But saccharin was once banned or strictly restricted for a period. In the early 1970s, laboratory studies linked saccharin to bladder cancer in rats, causing significant concern in the medical community. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, required warning labels on all products containing the sweetener. Although later further studies showed that the findings in rats did not directly apply to humans and the cancer warning was removed in 2000, the period of being banned/restricted left a deep mark. Rat meat. During the harsh Great Depression, when famine ravaged urban areas, desperate families had to resort to every option for survival. In such circumstances, rat meat, especially city rats, became an unfortunate source of protein, a last resort against starvation. Catching and cooking rat meat, however gruesome, was a painful reality, reflecting the destitution and despair of urban dwellers. This is a sad memory of a time when survival was the top priority, when dignity and safety had to give way to the most basic needs. But today, rat meat has been completely banned and is considered illegal and unsafe for consumption. Rats are known carriers of many dangerous pathogens, such as plague and leptospirosis, posing serious health risks to humans. Health agencies have clearly stated that consuming these rodents is a violation of modern law, classifying them as dangerous pests. Unregulated farmed salmon. With its ability to provide abundant protein and lower cost than wild salmon, farmed salmon quickly gained consumer favor. It offered convenience and variety for family meals, becoming a familiar dish on many people's tables. After a while, unregulated salmon farming was banned or strictly regulated. The early days of the salmon farming industry lacked strict regulations, leading to overcrowding, causing diseases and parasites. Farmers had to use large amounts of antibiotics and chemicals to control diseases, raising concerns about water pollution and impacts on the surrounding environment. Additionally, waste from salmon farms also polluted water sources, and later farmed salmon was linked to higher concentrations of PCBs and other contaminants. Faced with this situation, governments significantly tightened regulations on antibiotics, feed quality, and farming conditions. This change reflects a deeper awareness of environmental and food safety, ensuring that farmed salmon is produced sustainably and safely for consumers. Unsterilized home-canned meats. Before refrigerators became common, home canning meat was an essential food preservation method for families. Meat was cooked, placed in reusable glass jars, and sealed with wax or crude lids. This was an effective way to ensure a supply of meat for winter or times of scarcity, a reliable source of meals when no refrigeration was available. Today, home canning meat without using a pressure canner and proper sterilization is banned. The main reason is the very high risk of botulism poisoning. Botulism bacteria can thrive in the anaerobic environment of improperly sterilized canned meat, producing a toxin that causes neurological paralysis and can be fatal. Outbreaks of botulism of fried liver and onions spreading in the kitchen is a scent of abundance and hearty meals. If this journey down memory lane has brought you indescribable emotions, sparking reflections on the past and present, please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the Back to Yesterday channel, so we can continue to reminisce about beautiful memories and learn from history together in future videos. Thank you very much for watching until this very moment. See you in the next exciting journeys of discovery.